day. Like, I am so, like, in a good mood today. Like, it's not even funny. I guess it's because I am off work, but unfortunately I do have to go to work tomorrow, but I'm not gonna bring no negative energy right now because of that. But I hope you guys are having a blessed and prosperous day or night, wherever it is that y'all are at. And I just hope y'all just having a good day. So if you are a fellow book lover such as myself, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification, and let's get to talking. So today's book I'm going to be talking about, it's one of my dear favorites. The first time I read it was back in the 8th grade. It holds something deeply within my heart. I hold this book close to my heart, and I think I should probably add a trigger warning to this because it talks about essay and all that, and it's none other than the book Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. It's one of those books that I just, every time I pick it up, I read it again and again, and even though I know how the book's going to end, I just can't get over the fact that this is one of my favorite books. But anyway, this book is about a girl. Her name is Melinda Sordino. She goes to this party. This is over the summer. She goes to this party over the summer, house party, and with her friends, and she meets this guy. His name is Andy Evans. He's showing all this attention to her and stuff like that, and they were just pretty much hanging out most of the time the party was going on. And of course, he takes her out to this woodsy area, and they start making out, but she kind of was trying to stop him, and he didn't want to stop, and lo and behold, he ends up essaying her. Also, there is a movie based on this book. It's called Speak as well, and come to find out, it was literally filmed in my hometown here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. And it's a really good movie. It stars Kristen Stewart, before her Twilight days. This was before Twilight, of course, because the movie came out in 2004. Literally, I did not know there was a movie until a couple years later, because but yeah, it's a really good book. And so anyway, because Melinda got essayed at the party, she called the police to try to report what happened to her, but the police ended up coming by, and it started a big ruckus, a big riot, and everybody had to leave the party and stuff like that. And of course, word got around that Melinda was the one who called the police and got the party, stopped and whatnot. And because of that, when she started her freshman year of high school, pretty much from the first day of school on up, pretty much towards the end of the school year, she was really ostracized. Like, nobody didn't want to talk to her. Nobody, even her friends, like, stopped talking to her, especially her best friend Rachel, which now she went by Rochelle, go figure. But yeah, pretty much people just stopped talking to her, and people bullied her, called her a squealer. So the first day of Melinda's freshman year, she goes to the auditorium where everybody gathers around and gets an introduction from the principal and all that stuff. And then she meets Heather, who transferred there from another school or I guess she was from a different town or whatever, and she just transferred to that school, and her, Melinda and Heather, they became friends. I'm pretty sure Melinda didn't really care for Heather. She just tolerated her because, once again, pretty much everybody just, stopped talking to her and didn't want nothing to do with her, even her own friends and whatnot. So she just used Heather as a convenience because, once again, she didn't have any friends. But Heather, she wanted to be popular. She wanted to join all these clubs and get all this attention and stuff. But Melinda wasn't feeling it, but she did it anyway just to appease Heather. After all, Melinda was depressed. She just didn't really care anymore about life. And I think also too, it was later on in the book when she was just like, hey, I wonder would anybody notice if I just stopped talking? And that's what she did. She just stopped talking at all. Even if somebody were to ask her a question or whatever the case might be, she might just give them like just a one word answer or whatever, or she just won't say nothing at all. I mean, that's how literally depressed she was, you know. So Melinda ends up finding solace in art. Of course, she has this art teacher. His name was Mr. Freeman, and Mr. Freeman, he's one of those eccentric type of teachers, art teachers. I mean, trust me, I've had a few eccentric teachers in my time when I was in school or whatever, but what he had the entire class do was pick a name from a hat, but it wasn't a name, it was just an object, and you have to put your whole, like, draw whatever you can with that object, like whatever it is, I don't know. But Melinda got a tree, you know, when she picked out of the globe, the broken globe thing that he had, and she just picked the one that said tree, and she was like, hey, I learned how to draw a tree in the 2nd grade. You know, come on, you gotta come correct better than that, you know what I mean? So of course, Mr. Freeman, he went and was like, okay, well, why don't you show me how you drew the tree, blah, blah, blah. So she goes up there and she just draws the tree. She draws a tree that, you know, that she learned. It was like just like a oval shape or whatever, and then just like 2 like curved lines, like so, I guess, go figure. But then he's like, okay, well, you got the whole entire year. You can work on that. We'll see how you do the entire year, blah, blah, blah. But what Melinda did not realize is that her drawing, you know, and pretty much her drawing that tree, anything that involves a tree, you know, it was very therapeutic for her, you know. I mean, dealing with the essay, you know, and considering the fact that the essay took place outside. Now in the movie, if y'all watch the movie, the essay took place in Andy Evans's Jeep, but in the book it took place in front of this oak tree, something like that. But that's neither here or there. But, like, you know, I think her drawing the tree alone, you know, and just pretty much, I guess that was her way of trying to cope with the essay and everything. And, you know, it was a representation of what occurred and things like that. And later on, her parents come around Christmas time. Her parents even got her like this art set thing because they noticed that she was drawing, and she literally, I think during that time, she literally wanted to just outright tell her parents what happened to her that night at the party, but she just didn't. She didn't. So Melinda gets the shock of her life when she finds out that Andy, who, by the way, I should add on that she calls it in the book, but come to find out, Andy was dating her ex-best friend Rachel, or Rochelle, whatever she goes by, but they ended up dating, right? And that's when Melinda just came to a realization, like, oh my God, you know, he's dating, you know, Rochelle is dating Andy, the guy that essayed me or whatever. And I think that's when she knew that she had to, like, really have to say something. She has to speak up. She has to say something, but not before Heather decides to just, I guess, dump her and be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go hang out with these people, and they're my key to popularity, and you're just too depressed, and I can't mess with you because you bringing me down. And I mean, I really can't blame Heather for that, because but then again, I can't blame Heather, but she was still very shallow, if you get what I'm saying. But back to Melinda finding out that Rochelle was dating Andy. So she eventually caught up with Rochelle. Sorry, there was like a little fuzz rolling around here. But anyway, she catches up with Rochelle, and they get to talking and stuff like that. And she apologized to Rochelle, you know, that she's sorry that she caused a lot of, you know, craziness, and sorry that they couldn't be friends and things like that. And finally, I think, so then Melinda came out outright, told her that she was essayed, that's why she called the police, type of thing. And Rochelle was shocked. Once again, y'all, I can't talk to save my life, y'all. I cannot talk. But yeah, Rachel, she was shocked. She's like, oh my God, were you like, what? So she takes her somewhere private so they can talk, and she's like, did you get pregnant? Did you catch any disease or whatever? Melinda's like, no, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. I'm good. And she's like, and finally Rachel asked her like, hey, so who did it? Who was it? Who was the person that essayed you? And she told her like, hey, it was Andy Evans, aka your boyfriend, you know. And of course Rochelle was like, no, he wouldn't do that, you're lying, this and that, a third, and just pretty much just like, hey, no, you're lying, Andy would never do that, blah blah blah. So, you know, Rachel just leaves her standing there because, you know, she was like, what, you know. And in the book, she writes on the bathroom stall, and I wish they would have put this in the movie as well, because it definitely would have just set that tone, you know what I mean? So in the book, she writes in the bathroom stall, people to stay away from, and she puts Andy Evans, right? And I think she ended up telling a girl, or I don't know how I can say, yo, I have to freaking read the book again. I have to read the book again. But another girl that was friends with her in her friend group before everybody stopped talking to her was this girl named Ivy. And they had art class together. One day, Ivy takes Melinda and takes her to the bathroom, to that bathroom stall where she wrote people to stay away from Andy Evans. And then that's when everybody was writing in their comments on it. Like, yeah, Andy Evans, he's an a-hole. He's this, he's a jerk, he's this, he's that. And Melinda, she was just like, oh, wow. So I'm not alone. I don't know if Andy essayed other girls or whatever, but at least I know I'm not alone. At least I know that I'm not the only one that sees Andy for the jerk that he is, you know? So word got around. I know I'm probably talking I wouldn't say talking in circles, but like I know I'm kind of probably explaining the book with it out of order, maybe not. Like I said, I really have to go back and read that book again, y'all, because it's been a while. But yeah, I guess word got around that Rochelle dumped Andy at the prom, because once again, this was Andy's senior prom, and of course Rochelle was his date or whatever, and she I think she confronted him that day, at prom or whatever, and she confronted him about it, like, hey, did you do this to Melinda? Did you essay Melinda? Of course he denied it, you know. And he was real. And then but in the movie, she's in the car with him, you know, they're driving up to school, and she sits in his car as he's already out the car, and he comes back seeing that she didn't get out the car too and start walking with him. But she asked him one day, and like I said, this was in the movie speak, and she said, she said that, Melinda, do you know her or whatever? I mean, you went in there looking for me, but did you know Melinda? And he said, no, I was looking for you. And then he called her the B word, you know. And I think that's when, like I said, this is the movie, I think that's when Rochelle realized that Melinda was telling the truth. And then in the book, once again, she dumped him at prom after discovering that Melinda was not lying about being essayed by Andy. So then, towards the end of the school year, Melinda was gathering her things. I should also add on there that at school, Melinda was using some old janitor's closet as like her sanctuary, as like her private room where she would do her artwork, her just to chill, or even some. And I think I might add too that she skipped school a lot because she was depressed and everything, and her grades was slipping really bad to where her parents had to be notified and have a conference and stuff, and her parents was trying to figure out what was wrong with her, and plus too, she would talk to them and stuff like that. But then towards the end of the school year, as she was gathering her things and pretty much trying to get her life back on track after she was able to at least get Rachel Rochelle to see that she wasn't lying and things like that. And when she was in her old janitor's closet, her little private room or whatever, Andy went to confront her and was like, hey, why are you telling everybody that I essayed you? Why don't you? And then he was trying to attack her again, right? And you know, he's like, you're going to tell everybody that you're lying, and I not do nothing. I wouldn't even touch you. You're not even my type. You're not even all that cute. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? But then this other girl, her name was Nicole, who was also Melinda's friend in her friend group before that eventful night. And Nicole opens the door to the janitor's closet, and she's like, okay, come. She's like, come on out, Melinda. You know, you're okay. You're safe now. Blah blah blah. And then Melinda ends up walking out of the closet, and then Nicole and her lacrosse team like had him surrounded, like he couldn't even get out of the closet. Not in that way, y'all know what I mean. If y'all seen the movie or if y'all read the book, y'all know what I mean. But nah, Nicole and her team, her lacrosse team, had him surrounded, like, hey, you know what you did. We all know what you did to Melinda and all that jazz. You better own up. We got you surrounded. You know, you ain't about to get away. You're not getting away. None of that gonna happen. Ain't none of that gonna happen. So then one of the teachers, well, in the movie, Melinda's history teacher, Mr. Neck, asked her what happened as she was walking away, as she was walking about, and he asked her what happened. She didn't say nothing to him or whatever. Now, in the book, she tells her teacher, Mr. Freeman, the art teacher, what happened to her. But in the movie, she tells her mom, because in the movie, you know, she had a scratch right there for when Andy attacked her, right? I think she had a scratch or something like there, or a cut right here. I don't remember, but she had to have it patched up, and then she had, I think her hand was cast up or something. But finally, in the movie, she opened up to her mom that what happened to her at that party, that eventful night. But like I said, in the book, she opens up to her art teacher, Mr. Freeman, and she pretty much looked at the end of the book, and even in the end of the movie, even she was pretty much looked at as a hero in a way, because, you know, nobody knew up until pretty much when Rachel Rochelle kind of like aired him out and, you know, exposed him, semi-exposed him for what he did to Melinda. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. I really loved this book with all my heart, for the simple fact that I too was essayed many years ago, back in 2011, back when I was 21 years old, by my older boyfriend. I can relate to Melinda and not wanting to speak. But see, I didn't talk that much, but also too, when I was essayed, it just really sicked me into even a deeper depression than I already was, because you know, I was already going through a lot, and by that time I already had my first kid, and I was very postpartum, really bad. And then for me to meet this older guy, you know, me being my 21-year-old naive self, I meet this older guy, you know, and he talks me and stuff like that. We start dating, and then, you know, lo and behold, I end up getting essayed. So speaking as an essay victim myself, like, I can totally relate to Melinda in that manner, because, you know, a lot of people will never understand what goes on in your mind after you get essayed, because you know, you wonder, like, what did I do to deserve this? I mean, like, you always, and then you look at yourself as worthless, like you deserved for this to happen to you, type of thing, you know. And it just really just makes you really depressed. And even though I'm in therapy now I'm in therapy for a lot of things, but my depression and me trying to get through being essayed and stuff like that, even though the incident that happened to me happened back in 2011, but it still lingers on, and I still have nightmares about it here and there. But and whenever I do, I always journal it. I write in my journal. I do a journal. So, but yeah, like I really hope you guys enjoyed the book if you read it or if you watched the movie. Let me know in the comments of what you thought of this book or what if you thought about the movie version. And just like every book that turned into a movie, I will say that the book was 1,000,000 times better. It was 1,000,000 times better than the movie because of course the book is going to talk more about it's more in detail than the movie was, you know what I'm saying? But I love the movie too, don't get me wrong. I love the movie version. And I wish they had it on YouTube or something. They used to have it on YouTube. But I can't find it at any other streaming services. But y'all let me know in the comments if you found a streaming service that I don't know about that the movie's on. So yeah, that's everything. That was my review on the book and just everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Let me know in the comments, any other books that deals with similar situations like this, like Melinda, if there was anything like that. Because I like reading stories that relate to that because I was an SA victim myself, and I can relate to, even though these are fictional characters, but there are women out there in this real life world that went through what I went through too. But I still like to read fictional stories about it, But yeah, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoy your nights or days, wherever it is that you're at, and take care.